Hiya crafters, Amy here with amyswares, and today I'm going to show you an idea to use your stencil in a new way. I have this stitched heart die from Catherine Pooler. I cut out that little piece of cardstock, and I have this cool layered daisies stencil from A Colorful Life Designs. Here's a photo to show you where we're headed, but this was kind of a fun, maybe a different way to use your stencils that maybe you've already done. It's nothing new, but maybe also something you've never thought of. So here I'm using the first layer of this layered daisy stencil, and I have these markers from Alta New. I'm just going to pull this out. This is Islands of Fiji. I think there's 4 different sets of these, and I'm just kind of picking out a random smattering here of colors that I want to work with. I'll show you in just a moment here the color names. I think we have Paper Bag, Fuchsia, Fresh Lemon, and Minty Mint, if you have those colors and want to mimic this design. But here basically I'm just going to color in the openings of the stencil. So sometimes you can ink blend, you can use paste, you can use whatever, but maybe you haven't thought to use your markers. You can do this with your alcohol markers or your Copics if you have those. These are just kind of some inexpensive water-based markers that I'm using here. You could probably use water brush markers, kind of anything you have really. I think you could even use Crayolas, to be honest. I mean, I'm not really doing anything special here. I'm just kind of mimicking this design. So if you're not comfortable hand drawing something, but you kind of want that look of something being hand drawn, like you did it yourself, then maybe bust out your stencils. So this stencil here from A Colorful Life Designs is part of the January release. There's a whole smattering of new stencils in the shop. They're awesome. So be sure to check that out. And if you shop for anything, be sure to use my coupon AMYFAN10 at checkout and you'll save 10% on your complete order. Now, if you're looking for some inspiration, we do actually have a Facebook group. It's called A Colorful Life Designs Fan Group. I will link it in the video description box below if you expand and scroll down. You can also find all the products that I used, and if you follow any of my links, it will really help me out. It's no additional cost to you, but it does give me credit for kind of bringing the sale if you do end up shopping. But here I came in with the second layer in that brown color, and I'm just kind of filling in any little areas that I missed if it wasn't colored in very evenly, but it's so fun so far. Now on the background layer here, I decided to use my T-square, and I'm just going to draw my own lines and kind of fill them in. So I'm not being precious here. I'm not measuring anything. I'm just trying to make the lines straight. I did realize in a moment here, you'll see a little mistake that I made when I went to go to the lighter minty mint color. I didn't realize that there was some residual marker ink from that fuchsia left on the ruler. So just be sure to wipe it off. You'll see here, I'm realizing, oh look, I've muddied it up. So just wipe off your ruler in between colors and then you won't have that. It wasn't a big deal. I just kind of kept going. It wasn't an issue, but thankfully it didn't happen on the yellow. Otherwise that might have really messed it up. So I'm just kind of figuring out general layout where I want to put down this heart. But I'm just coloring this in. Again, it's going to look very, very handmade, very hand-drawn, even though obviously I'm using a ruler for straight lines and I use the stencil to kind of create these fun little images. So here I'm working with the brown, kind of laying that down. Again, I don't have any rhyme or reason here. I'm just laying some stripes down in the same colors that I used to color in the flowers on the front of the card. So here I'm coming in with yellow, and I'm going to make that one a little bit fatter, just coloring it in. Super fun. So if you maybe feel intimidated by your markers, maybe do something like this. Don't feel like you have to be a master colorer. As you can see, I'm not blending anything. I'm just using straight colors here. But it felt good to kind of get these out because these markers are often kind of forgot about and collecting dust in my stash. So maybe figure out what markers you have. I literally just opened the drawer behind me and grabbed the first markers that I could see. So I'm glad I did that because, like I said, I haven't used these in a while, and it felt good to kind of give them some love. So use what you have. If not, if you're interested in anything that I've used, like I said, I'll link it all below. Here I decided to go a step further. I have this Modern Squares 3D. This is one of my absolute favorite 3D embossing folders. It's from Alta New and it's a 6x6. I'm just going to run this through off screen to give it this cool texture. So even though the colors are the same, it's really going to kind of give that separation of the heart off of the background with there being that new added texture. Now here I'm going a step further, another optional step. I definitely recommend having a white gel pen, but I'm going to put some little dots all in the center of these flowers, and then also draw some little lines on the petals as well, just to kind of add some interest. So a fun way to step it up. It doesn't take a lot of time. You don't need to be an artist or have master drawing skills to do something like this. You just add a little bit of detail. Now I'm going to pop that heart up on the panel with a little bit of dimension, but I do want to kind of figure out my sentiment first before I start attaching things, just because I have no idea what route I'm going to go. I don't really have a plan. But that's the beauty of my sentiment binder, is I have so many different options here. Now these Spanish sentiments that I got from Simon Says Stamp, those were the perfect color to kind of match the teal and the composition. And I have my foam tape here that I get from scrapbook.com. Just going to use a couple little pieces of that to pop up the heart. And then I think I do also end up using some dimension on the Feliz Cumpleaños, or maybe ended up gluing it down. I can't remember. It's just as exciting for me, guys. I've already forgotten what I did. Oh, no, here I did. I used some, I wanted the same dimension behind the sentiment. So I did use that to kind of pop that up. And then that nestled perfectly in the lower left corner of the composition. I love when that happens because it wasn't planned out. My sentiments are often an afterthought. But I do decide I want to bring out some blings. So this is also from Colorful Life Designs. There are so many gorgeous little crystal packages of joy to choose from. I think there's like over 130 colors or something crazy town. But this yellow went beautifully with the design. I think it was Crystal Opaque Sunflower or something like that. But again, I will link everything below. Again, this stencil is a new one to the shop, Layered Daisies. It's so fun. I'm excited to play with it some more. But thank you so much for spending time with me. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing. That really helps me out a lot. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.